Hi, my name's May Regali, and I'm reading a section from A Good Man is Hard to Find by Flannery O'Connor. A little bit of context to this section. At the beginning of the story, there's an announcement in a newspaper that an escaped convict named the Misfit has been sighted near the family in the stories, near their house in Tennessee and Georgia. So on their way, driving through Tennessee and Georgia to Florida for vacation, the grandmother in the family tells her two grandchildren a story that she remembers, a story about a plantation house that she remembers from her childhood. And she notices that they've just passed the driveway for this house, and so the children, being very intrigued by the story, ask their father if they can visit the house real quick on their way down to Florida. He concedes, and while they are driving down the driveway, they get into an accident and flip over. So now they are in need of help and just waiting for people to come help them. The grandmother had the peculiar feeling that the bespectacled man was someone she knew. His face was as familiar to her as if she had known him all her life, but she could not recall who he was. He moved away from the car and began to come down the embankment, placing his feet carefully so that he wouldn't slip. He had on tan and white shoes and no socks, and his ankles were red and thin. "Good afternoon," he said. "I see you all had you a little spill." "We turned over twice," said the grandmother. "Once it," he corrected. "We seen it happen." "Try their car and see will it run, Hiram?" he said quietly to the boy with the gray hat. "What you got that gun for?" John Wesley asked. "What you gonna do with that gun?" "Lady," the man said to the children's mother, "would you mind calling them children to sit down by you? Children make me nervous. I want you all to sit down right together there where you're at." "What are you telling us what to do for?" June Star asked. Behind them, the line of woods gaped like a dark, open mouth. "Come here," said the mother. "Look here now," Bailey began suddenly. "We're in a predicament. We're in—" "Ah!" the grandmother shrieked. She scrambled to her feet and stood staring. "You're the Misfit," she said. "I recognized you at once." "Yes'm," the man said, smiling slightly as if he were pleased in spite of himself to be known. "But it would have been better for all of you, lady, if you hadn't have recognized me." Bailey turned his head sharply and said something to his mother that shocked even the children. The old lady began to cry, and the Misfit reddened. "Lady," he said, "don't you get upset. Sometimes a man says things he don't mean. I don't reckon he meant to talk to you that way." "You wouldn't shoot a lady, would you?" the grandmother said, and removed a clean handkerchief from her cuff and began to slap at her eyes with it. The Misfit pointed the toe of his shoe into the ground and made a little hole and then covered it up again. "I would hate to have to," he said. "Listen," the grandmother almost screamed. "I know you're a good man. You don't look a bit like you have common blood. I know you must come from nice people." Thank you.